I watch Indian women and women from so many other places. They're not crazy about the Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all the designers wears. They are not even interested. Indian women, I meet them. They've been here 15 years, 20 years. They still keep their accent. They still speak as if they're living in India.
And otu kwa fi Ghana bedu abrechewa na ne kasa na change 2 days na wa sha say ma slang ye 2 days pe wa sha say slang 2 days pe as if say obe for Mamuni now Kaba at the Bayer Sethekow channel. So, media Mr. Seth, in short, over to me, Afremolu. My videos are made by now, me perceive me educate here. Both a member and banning or there's some kind of a suban be a danity. I will continue. Aha. My boy say me needing, but video will be a sound share mammy. Aha, or by being a share video with the mammy. I'm so okay. You be on reaction. I was young for and some of our canon say you bit here about boy. Aha, about boy. Because and then my man about this time round pet before I'm worry from different race. And also I was say yeah question mark at my yankasa. I didn't and I see Siano. You move from Yankasa diemu kwa brofumu kwa Asia fumu kwa ada wemu. Like Ghana need your kofa China need basing. What is going on? Ebusha for ni na say and some of back and no thing inti say untumi ho a besrew pensio be no ebusha for first about channel we so hit to subscribe button no like a video no na ehye obaka no brofo mu inti okana kakra me try say me summarize it na quick na yate the corner there ase ebusha for mo me nhwe video
identity. Nigerian women, East African women, women from Ghana, they have no cultural identity. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean.
Okay, cultural identity, as in say, idea my who say we offer Nigeria, we offer Ghana. But the bad and say we offer India. We are boom. The bad and bones or bow we cremoni, we are both and now we cremoni. But the other Chinese say, the bad and a bad moon who say, or bio be or a Ghana ni and answer free Nigeria and answer Africa ni no any babishia or the NT.
You see, I work in an industry which is information technology. In information technology, there is one country that really stands out when you talk about information technology, and it's India. Indians, for some weird reason, I don't know how they got into that thing in the historical, the cultural context. Everybody maybe went in for IT. The whole country made a powerful reference to IT, just like China made a huge push into industrialization that deals with tools. Yes. The idea of having the tools to make a car or make a shoe, heavy industrialization that they can use to serve the world. India went into this heavy thing about information technology. In my 12 years of working in information technology, everywhere I go, it's loaded with Indians. If the information technology, for example, if a place has maybe 20,000 workers, I'm talking about a huge place, in which maybe 10,000 of their workers are engineers, software engineers, computer engineers, so on and so forth. I can assure you that of the 10,000, 9,500 will be Indians. So what has been my exposure there? Indian women. They're the one they're 4 feet, some of them little 4 feet, things, small things that are making dream money. They came direct
into India from Bano describe
direct from the village into the system, and they're making 180,000, 190,000, 200,000 dream money. But there's a strange thing I notice about them. As they come to work, they're wearing their native wear, that thing that they tie and hang on their neck with that dot here.
Your best watch say share on my India, they are so investing in IT, computer, and both a man and women in but such a man on what those kind of qualifications, woman will say we of India. Why? I'm more dressy, I'm more culture no culture no, and this a man making ma sika kesiakese. Omu inya sika kesiakese.
Another strange thing I've noticed about them is you will never, ever, for all my years, I stayed in the United States, I was born here. In all my years of staying here, you'll never hear the Indian women dragging their men to the American court system.
Somehow, bibini de ni kunu beko sisi a broni de ni de beko sisi a but when is the last about say India for e de omukunu e kwa kogina court so e kwa kogya awade when is the last time I would say so after I started there any minim ha so after I shall say there minim
for divorce. It is our women that use the American court system to destroy our men. They bring the court in to help them destroy the men. You will never hear Indian women doing that thing. You will never hear women from China taking Chinese men into the American court system to destroy them with divorce. You will never hear women from Korea dragging their men in huge numbers into the American court system to destroy them.
So en kwafo obobo mudi na no hu se omo de omukunu no akokogina eye court wo se court na ntete omo.
But when it comes to African women, East Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, when it comes to African women, they just drag their men into the court system. One of the things that I've noticed in this system or in this problem is poverty.
So here, and I must say, in Africa for man, this hard lady omukuno.
Bring these Indian women, they're making 150,000, 180,000. They don't drag their men into court.
Man make kesi no mo mfo mukunu kunkojina sa court no.
Plus, sometimes, like in most places, all the places I've ever worked in information technology, they'll have one car.
So we huna India for omuni na one car, ebushani na one car baako, but bibia okay.
Not that I'm supporting that behavior, but there's something strange on why I see them. They have one car. They wait for their husbands. Even if their husbands are working 2 hours overtime over their time, they'll wait. Some of them pregnant, waiting for their husbands. When it's finished, they go into the same car with their husband and drive home. I watch Indian women and women from so many other places. They're not crazy about the Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all the designers wears. They're not even interested. Indian women, I meet them. They've been here 15 years, 20 years. They still keep their accent. They still speak as if they're living in India.
And otu kwa fi Ghana be do abrechewa na ne kasa na change 2 days no wa sha say ma slang 2 days pe wa sha say slang 2 days pe as if say oba wi aso nka twi kura da me san ko from like I mean me onwe mehi and me who sapen no me ntumi no nye fine bi I mean come on me ni atwi ni ehia wa pese come on, me make a chi. It's over here, Massa. Kwada. So serious. Some no workano. I know what thing. Me see me penny din. Kwana ma share question videos. Me din. Obi na send video no maame.
But when I meet our women, and our women, all that they have to do is just get to a level where they're making 50,000.
Na once na share ba. O ye adwuma no share nye sika pe. You couldn't know biabiu
60,000, 70,000 or 80,000 a year. I'm talking about small money. Small money. Immediately the marriage is in danger. And they change. They start bleaching.
I say, ma, before ma, shall juma no munya sa $50,000, ne 60, 70. Ebe krom na no ma shall say okay.
And they start talking, sure, yeah, sure.
Some American no. I say on teachy. I mean, I say ni krom kasa no antibiu. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I went. Oh my God, I went to New York, and I'm like, even I, who was born here, I don't speak like that.
Okay.
I look at others like the Chinese. They can't speak English very well.
Same thing.
You know, and their women may be driving very expensive cars that belong to their husbands. And I look at the Indian women who don't speak English very well, and they're not interested in changing their accent or their undertone, and they wear their native dress. That.
Obatsana ho be 100 years still ne kasa de tia na tie. You say video with them kofo be dwa papa.
And everything to work. I look at Korean women. I look at other women. They have this sense of cultural identity. African women do not have a sense of cultural identity whatsoever. Little money and the marriage is over. One thing I've discovered, a common trend, once the women make, they go nurse.
Eyi obobosu ejuma obobosu into ye be ma ye careful enka asesa no mu ni na atie but oye nurse no sha asesa onye sikape ofie no awade na egu so nim nyankopon awade na egu red flags na obobosu kire mo no what is oye nurse And yes, I don't mean that, but what is a nurse? Now I generate tutu. No, I shall nipa and a young Musumu to say, and Sana, what proceed, Johnny.
80,000 is all they need to make, and suddenly your marriage is in danger.
Over.
They want to call the shots. They want to be the ones that control everything. And if you don't like it like that, they'll bring in the American courts to destroy your life.
Yes.
Destroy everything around you.
Yes.
They will insult you. And I'm like, 80,000 is all that it takes for someone to change.
Yes.
Or 70,000, because most of them, even the
Sika and Adubamu will be real character. When you will be real subai. Sika.
80,000 is overtime. They've worked themselves Sunday, Saturday night, Sunday nights. They've worked themselves to death. That money that they make as overtime is what is now changing into something that they will destroy everything around them. You know, the part that I see also is that a lot of, and I remember whenever I make my videos, I refer to men. Men. It has come to a point where we really can't define marriages in the African context anymore in the United States, because the man is changing diapers.
Oh.
He's washing the plates.
Oh.
He's sweeping the floor.
Oh.
He's cooking. Most men now have to cook to keep their marriages intact.
Me? Can I single, Papa? Can I remain single? Seriously, this yama gender rule be a problem. Yeah, yes, Obama you from Waba, but and a man, yeah, man, running now. I'm quite sign when a real man. So when I'm signing when a mayor may real man back, I may remain single. They make us ask him, and I don't care. Me found one of your back. The sign of Marie and a mayor real man, I'm a wa, and I may remain single. Telling you.
He's picking the kids and dropping them. Like in what, like I've seen the experiences. I don't need to go for. I don't want to go to, you know. But the woman is shouting at them. Where's the child's belt? Where's the child's socks? Where's the child's everything?
Okay, no. Okay, be man, I'm must say. Yes, I say. Yes, and I say.
And the women go around telling everybody we are partners. He's not. There's nothing like head of the.
Say, you're your partner. You're your couple. Partner and your company and your shared company. It's more mama sa. As I papa can fight too. I mean, the man now what you need no okay. All it is manipulating sika and no. Ubongu a real character. Ubeso hu be ma esubanya maninya sika. Ubeso hu oba subanya maninya position maninya sika. Ubohu ne true nature. Whether I say ahobranse na no wo no na genuine anase fabricated anase fake.
Household, we are partners. Okay, so the men are doing everything in the women's role and also doing everything in their role, and they also keep their jobs.
Tibema and we bema was so we mba sede ni na we wa sede ni na na osanso yi adwuma na we na osanso maintain ansa na ya for real man.
And that is supposed to be the perfect. If you don't do like that, they'll call American court on you.
Yes.
This partner thing.
Now me na me family team shame. Choose freedom, brothers. Choose freedom. Choose freedom.
I've seen people try it and it leads to disaster. Like he says, okay, so since I'm the one doing the laundry and washing the plates and cooking the food, can you help me change that bulb? No, that's a man's job. Okay, can you help me change the engine oil in the car? No, that's a man's job. Okay, can you help me paint the other? No, it's a man's job. The women are quick to tell you what's a man's job. But you must do your job and do their job now.
Fantastic.
And do their job and keep your job also in the society and come back and still, even there's no respect. You are supposed to be submissive or the marriage ends on your head.
Yes.
And when you look into it, she started making.
And Oban Mumo also submitting, and a member woman is submitting. Was one submit here, and when you a member mama come at the papers about Waramono. Side way or kicking, and I'll be go through. Instead of so bad mumbe submitting, or brand once and woman about brown once because one brown once here or pepper no bakwa seno. Secondly, I mean our idea never is this generation is too difficult to be a husband. And we are Bema generation is too difficult so Bema. I'm telling you. Pay the metity any course ba me ho ne sa ne I'm you describe scenario na kire mo. It is away your bar now person what dey begu a and now pe kuna do opposite to what we are talking about. Do opposite. Je opposite. I mean, omo be the one more be walo mo na fe omo real character and real nature na dey.
$80,000, and I compare that with the Indian women who make 150,000, 160,000, 180,000. And don't forget, this is India. I mean, a woman just saying no to the husband, they start the honor killings. The men are not romantical; they're hardcore. They are very, very they're very, very hardcore. The way they order their families about and their women about. They are not romantic. They are not taking their women to Dubai. They are not buying Louis Vuitton and expensive perfumes and undies for their women. They are not doing any of that. And when they come to work, they're smelling of turmeric and all those things that they put in their food. Their men don't spray. I mean, some of them, they come and I see the same jeans, the same shirt for years. But their women stick to them with the kind of money they're making. Even the Hispanic women, I look at them, their men are poor. I mean, they all cross from the desert now into this town. They cross from desert, enter this town. I've seen some real dirty, nasty Hispanic women with drop-dead, gorgeous Hispanic women. The women don't leave their men. The same story, we crossed from the desert, came here together, we're sticking together to the bloody end. But when it comes to African women, all they need is just make a little money and they've turned the marriage upside down. And there are men who will support that behavior. In fact, those women are more celebrated here than even married women. You see a man, if he wants to do his birthday party or his child dedication ceremony or burial or anything, he's inviting all the divorcees who threw their husbands out of the house. They have so much honor. In fact, so many people are calling them and congratulating them for throwing out their husbands out of the house.
So what?
And sometimes when you go into investigation of why the big ass men are supporting that, is because there's a competition. Africans in America compete to the point of death here in America. Which car someone is driving, which kind of house someone is driving, which kind of job. That's why Africans, it's better you stay away from Africans here. So since everybody's competing, if the woman can turn her house upside down and destroy it, she's already done the job for the man's enemies out there. They are applauding her. They now call her for parties and call her to come and drink in their house. And then there's the part two. When they throw their everything away, a clock starts ticking, a timing clock. Who is going to be the first guy to fuck her? Now that she's on her own, now that she's single, now that she's by herself. And it leads to a proverb from my area. There's this famous proverb from my area. They say that there's nothing as shameful as a big woman to uncover white hair for small boys to enter. White hair. Small boys will enter, come back with stories how they slap that ass, how they shake it up and how they run it around and stuff like that. And you'll be like, and in her mind, she's showing this attitude. She'll go onto her Facebook website and right there, I'm too blessed to be depressed. As they go lower, we go higher. Yep, we girls are flying higher. Hashtag liberated sisters. And then you wonder what is wrong with African women. Ghanaian community is the first community I've seen that fourth marriage, people fool. Fourth marriage. And if you put your ear to the ground, they're still blaming the men at the fourth marriage of the woman. She's married, the first one divorced, second one divorced, third one divorced, fourth marriage.
Still blaming a mama.
Fool. They drink, they chop chicken, everything, and they're blaming. They're talking about how all the other three men, there's something wrong with them, that they were animals, that they were this and that. And you wonder, is it always the men that is the problem? No. Same with the East African women. They will divorce, 3 divorces, 4. Somehow the story will be twisted. It's always the men's fault. And she's marrying. She can marry up to 7 times. Nobody knows what's going on. I am saying this because too many men's lives have been destroyed because of people who think they are in America. This America thing. Okay, I normally ask this simple question. What if a man became very rich and he had a house in America and he had a house in Canada and he had a house in Germany and he had a house in Japan? He had houses all over the place. What happens there? Is it going to be that as you bring a Nigerian or a Ghanaian or an East African woman to your house in America, she acts American? Then when you cross her over to the house in Canada, she now acts like she's Canadian? And then when you cross her over to the house in Germany, she now acts like she's German? And then when you take her over to Japan, she now acts Japanese Hong Kong, Kung Fu, Japanese Kung Fu, Shintokan? You know? What is it like? Do African women have cultural identity? Do they have any cultural identity? Do they have any loyalty in them as human beings? Do they? Or they just moved by every wind of doctrine, every wind of thinking? And the hypocrisy, like I said, is now a lot of marriages, the men are the ones doing the women's roles, their roles, and keeping their jobs. All that to keep a man. And you see the men still coming, they come out with a big agbada and turn it and throw it up and stand and say, hey, I want to thank my wonderful wife. I don't want a marriage for the sake of what it looks like in the public. I want to be happy about it inside in my life.
Yes.
The show of that out there in the public, it looks good. But meanwhile, back home, I'm swallowing Percocet. I'm swallowing high blood pressure medicine. I'm swallowing all kinds of things to stay alive because I want to show people that I kept my marriage going. It's crap. It's and that's for as men. I would rather live longer for my children than to stay in something that is horrific and try to keep it going. One side is always throwing the fishing bowl in the sky. One person is always trying to catch it. When does the other person become mature and stop? Oh, because they're making $80,000. Like I said, come and see the Indian women. 150. The husband is making 180. 200. The husband is making 190. People are making dream money. Indian community, I've never seen anything like that before. In IT, they own it. Google, Facebook, everywhere they own it. And they're making killing money. Those guys hold cash, dream money, and their wives are not going crazy. You see their wives by their husbands all the time. The other final part I'll leave you with is I thank God for Trump. I thank God because has defined what America truly is about. When you come to a situation where a man, he's speaking on behalf of millions of people, talking about how he sees things, how he understands things from these millions of people who voted him in, you will understand that for you to come to this country and destroy your life, you're the most stupid person on earth. Make it clear that if you're a minority, we don't count you among people. And these are the owners of the land talking about that. If you're a minority, we don't count you. And you see other minorities, like I said, the Indians, the Koreans, the Chinese, other minorities, it's like they intrinsically know this is not their land. So when they come here, they hold themselves. It's not something you need to break your family apart over. It's not something you need to go crazy about it. And you're 40 years old and you're now wearing mini and going back to the club. Nobody goes crazy except African women, Ghanaian, Nigerian, East African. They go crazy. They go crazy. And I'm glad Pastor told them, it doesn't matter how you do, sure. Oh yeah, that we still don't count you as part of us. We don't. We know where you're from. And that it doesn't matter how much money you make here, is because we let you stay here. And I'm glad that he has pointed it out and cleared it out and activated so that when you now take your husband or take your wife into that system that doesn't regard you as something and destroy everything, I glorify God, because some people have wisdom and some people do not. And I also thank God for that the bitch ass men who are rejoicing on how other men's demise, like they're rejoicing that other men were destroyed that way, so that so because it has lowered the competition. Now I have won, I'm going up, he's coming down, that God will punish them. God will never, since you can't rejoice in people doing well, but you're waiting for people to go down so that it can, if is that what you needed to be victorious, then you're fake. You are as fake as it gets. You needed his wife to turn on him so that you can win. That is why you're all everywhere. Divorced women are being celebrated as the best women in earth here in America. Everybody call them for parties, call them everywhere, give them money, do everything, and sleep around with them, because that's the thing. You're all sleeping around with them. Nonsense. Oh, and by the way, I want to also finally use this to kill one argument. The argument I hear a lot of men now saying, they're cursing their fathers. That our fathers who didn't sweep the floor, wash the plates, cook food, change the diapers, totally emasculated. I mean, men are totally emasculated. They're doing everything, doing the laundry. That our fathers who didn't do that were useless. We're better than them because we're doing our role, the women's role. We're Superman. We're doing the women's role, our role, keeping our jobs, taking care of the children. The children are now coming to ask us for the socks and their belts and where their sandals are, and they don't know where and they're coming to ask us to iron their clothes, and we iron our own clothes on top of that. We're doing everything. The woman's job now is just to comb her hair and look at herself in the mirror, and when she's tired and she has choosing and sitting down spending an hour trying to find the right dress, and then she gets into the car and drives to work. You're doing everything. And that in that world we're saying that our fathers were stupid, that we are better than them. No, we're not. Maybe we are the ones that will have a shorter lifespan in the end of this story. So you know what, I'll leave it at that. Like I said, I normally say very controversial things, and I speak for just a group of men, not all men though, because there's too many bitch ass men now, men who are not real. I know how the reaction will be here. You guys can come in and insult me and talk whatever you want to talk, but I've put my point down. African women have no cultural identity, and I think their background of poverty has made them that when they see small money, they lose control of themselves. Thank you.
In fact, some no can na idea me man friend me complaining and me anga some di me ni hu e wo movies mu ene news mu ene I see it. TV dia me we a single girl now wa akwantuo me say na man no me ya do the opposite, you will have a strong marriage. I'm telling you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Peace. Shalom.